Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. Want to take you guys through an absolutely awesome new historic low PC Steam game deal on literally one of the best received Steam games of all time. Really, one of the best received games of all time. It recently did have a sequel drop, but that sequel is still at a heftier price point, and we'll highlight that. A lot of other historic low deals and other deals to go over. One of them, while it is a historic low deal, I am just going to meme on the game a little bit. You know, it's always a good time memeing on a Ubisoft game. You know, we've been giving Ubisoft a lot of W's recently. We've been mentioning a lot of their game deals. Time to meme on them a little bit, you know, with Assassin's Creed Shadows getting its DLC. It also is at a historic low price point. Look, I'll mention it, but probably wouldn't be spending the price point on it, but we'll go over some other deals, and we'll actually end this video with a quality Ubisoft deal. So more on that at the end of this video, but to kick things off, the absolutely awesome Steam game deal historic low is Hades. It is down to $6.24. I think this is a fantastic price for Hades, a game that is beloved, not just in the PC gaming community, but really just in the gaming community in general. And Hades 2 has been in early access. It's actually going to be coming as a console exclusive to Switch 2, and I believe Switch 1. Don't quote me on that. I believe it's Switch 1 and Switch 2, but it'll be on those consoles, and it'll be console exclusive there. And how about that on Switch 2? It's all on the card itself. It's not like a game key card with a download, you know, all that stuff. But Hades 1 is $6.24. Incredibly stylish action roguelike. I really enjoyed the game. I definitely didn't get into it as much as a lot of my boys did. Like, some of my buddies spent north of 100 hours on this game, and I get into my action roguelikes here and there. I certainly don't get into them as much as a lot of other people. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Dead Cells. Dead Cells is the one that for me I always go back to, but you know, people loved Hades, and the thing about Hades is it's interesting because I love Supergiant games going back to Bastion, and that was one of the games I played very early on when it came out, and I've been following Supergiant games and played all of their subsequent games, Bastion, into Transistor, into Pyre, but their notoriety and their attention went into absolute overdrive after Hades came out. Like, Hades really resonated with people, and it's interesting to see how much it really elevated their profile. You know, it's not often you see a studio put out a lot of quality games, like top tier high quality games, and Bastion was well received, but then they just dropped one game that just takes them into another stratosphere, and I really do feel like that's what happened with Hades, even though their other games were really good. But nevertheless, you know, good for them, and Hades 2 is really well received. $6.24 here for Hades, and they do have the Supergiant collection, but that's not really discounted right now, so go check that out. $6.24, and this is celebrating the 5-year anniversary of the game, which is kind of insane to think about. I believe, wasn't Hades like an Epic Game Store exclusive for a while as well? I might be wrong about that. It's been a long time since Hades dropped, but yeah, $6.24 on that. Definitely worthwhile to check that out, and a game with a ton of replayability and great art style, great presentation, and yeah, 98% positive reception across 132,000 reviews. That's absolutely insane, and a 93 on Metacritic. So one of the highest reviewed critic games of all time, highest critic reviewed games of all time, I should say, and from a Steam reception standpoint, also one of the best received games of all time. All right, moving on from that, at a historic low is Assassin's Creed Shadows. Certainly a game with no controversy surrounding it. Certainly a game that everybody absolutely loved. Now, looking at the Steam reception, the all-time user reviews, 11,000 reviews, 80% positive. Now, recent reviews is 670 reviews at a 69% positive rating. You guys know how I feel about the newer style of Assassin's Creed games at this point. I think they are bloated open worlds. Do I like the setting of AC Shadows? Yeah, it's a pretty cool setting. The visuals are decent, and, you know, beyond that, the gameplay doesn't really do it much for me, even the exploration aspects to it, you know, and the gameplay from a combat standpoint really doesn't click with me. And I will say, from a narrative standpoint, I think this game is actually, like, abysmal. I think it's terrible. And on top of that, I've mentioned it before, but the recent Assassin's Creed games, Valhalla and Shadows, may have some of the biggest charisma vacuums I've ever seen in video games at the helm of this story. Naoya, Yasuke, Ivor, three of the worst main characters I think I've ever seen out of video games. Ivor especially is a special kind of an abomination. Yasuke and Naoya are terrible. Like, just imagine going from the Ezio's and the Edwards of the world to these absolute schmucks. That's the only way I can really put it. Like, I think the Assassin's Creed main characters recently have been absolute schmucks, but nevertheless, Shadows is $42. The Claws of Awaji DLC came out, and that is at mostly negative 33%. They're promoting it as 10 hours plus of content, and one of the top reviews notes that they completed the story within 3 hours, 4 new weapons, 4 new armors, and that's it. You don't get anything else. And it's $25. $25 for this piece of DLC. Seems kind of pricey for a DLC that people are finishing in 3 hours, so a little bit of a bummer there. But, yeah, I think Shadows is kind of fried. I think if it goes down to, you know, like that $8.99 range for the gold edition at some point, it might be worth a pickup then. But for now, at this price point, definitely a pass, in my opinion. So let's move on from that. The Altars is seeing a discount with the This War of Mine bundle. That's what you want to get. It's 45% off for $26.98. So you get This War of Mine and the Altars. Now, you can buy This War of Mine separately for $1.99, and you can buy the Altars separately for $27.99, but it's actually cheaper to get both This War of Mine and Altars in the bundle than buying the Altars standalone. Altars is a game done by 11-Bit Studios. I literally have the game installed right now. It's been on my to-play list for a while, but it's one of those games from earlier this year that's gotten a little bit lost in the shuffle for me. But I do plan on playing it at some point, even though it's not really my type of game, the, you know, base building survival style of games. But I think from a narrative standpoint, it is so unique and compelling that I feel like I have to at least give the game a shot. And I've loved 11-Bit Studios' other projects, even like Frostpunk. That's a game that is of a style that's really not up my alley, but I really ended up enjoying that game as well. So check that out if you're interested. A little discount on that. Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration. Mentioned this in a previous video, but an absolutely awesome deal. 90% off for $2.99. You can get the Tomb Raider trilogy discounted as well. Rise of the Tomb Raider is an awesome game. I think it's the best of the Tomb Raider trilogy, you know, since the reboot happened. I think it's phenomenal, and I would say it's one of the better games, honestly, of the last decade or so. Like, I really, really enjoyed ROTR. I thought the gameplay was great. I thought narratively it was pretty decent, and hopefully we'll get news about this new Tomb Raider game. I would imagine that you gotta kind of reveal that game at the Game Awards. I think the Game Awards makes a lot of sense for the new Tomb Raider game to be revealed, but I feel like I said that going into the Game Awards last year. Hopefully, fingers crossed that the next Tomb Raider game does come out in 2026. I think that would be a very, very big release for next year, but we'll see how that turns out. I know filming on the show is gonna start as well, so again, we'll see how all of that turns out. Moving on from that, we do have a brand new franchise sale in the Naruto franchise sale. To be fair, Bandai Namco has jacked up seemingly all of the prices of the Naruto games. I can't understand why that is. Maybe it's to incentivize you. If somebody new is looking at the prices, they're like, oh, let me just buy the newest game in Naruto X Boruto and get that 60% off for $24. That is a historic low for that game, but that is not the Naruto Storm game that I enjoyed the most, and I don't know why the price point has gone up outside of that. Naruto as an IP, and, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like it's not as hot as it used to be. Like, I feel like the anime's over. I know Boruto's airing, or Boruto is going on. I don't know what the status of Boruto is right now. I believe they took a break, and now it's back. Don't quote me on that, but Naruto, the main show, has ended, and I just feel like the steam and momentum isn't there for Naruto anymore, so what really warrants the prices to be this hefty? Storm 1 is $9.99, Storm 2 is $9.99, and Storm 3 is $9.99, when all of those games have been $4.99 in the past. Storm 4 is $14.99, and then Storm 4 Road to Boruto is $28.44. Road to Boruto is actually more expensive than Naruto X Boruto Storm Connections, which is the more recent game. They just gotta make Storm 5, make it next-gen only, and, you know, well, let's finally get that going, because I feel like Naruto's been missing a new game. Hell, I would love a Naruto Kakarot-style game, and I say that as in, you know, like an RPG that utilizes Naruto. I think that would be tremendous. You know, Naruto tells a pretty lengthy story, so I think it would be pretty difficult to get that all in one game, but, you know, they've done Rise of Ninja, they've done Broken Bond. Those games were phenomenal, and they're kind of just getting lost in time, given that they're only on the Xbox 360. So it is what it is. But yeah, Naruto franchise sale running right now. Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the Hinokami Chronicles 2, 25% off for $44.99. This did just come out, so I thought I would give it a mention, especially with all of the attention around the Demon Slayer movie. So many people I know are going and checking out that movie. Like, people that I didn't even know were anime fans were messaging me being like, oh, I'm going to the theaters today to check out the Demon Slayer movie. And I'm like, wait a second, buddy. You watch anime? It's crazy how big Demon Slayer became over the last couple of years. Like, this is one of those anime that really has hit the more mainstream audience, which is super difficult for an anime to do. Like, Attack on Titan did a little bit of that, but in my personal life, I noticed that with Demon Slayer even more. And, you know, Attack on Titan, I definitely enjoyed that more than Demon Slayer, but as far as what has really resonated at a high level, man, like, Demon Slayer is something that so many people that I would have never even thought watched anime love Demon Slayer. And I feel like from a narrative standpoint, it's fairly basic. Like, it's enjoyable. It looks like, you know, people went all out with the animation, and the animation is incredible, but I just think from a narrative standpoint, it's pretty basic. The fights are great, the openings are great, and I love a good anime opening, but yeah, I'm not as crazy about it as a lot of other people. I enjoy it, don't get me wrong, but some people rank it as literally their favorite anime of all time. And the amount of people that I've talked to that have said that Demon Slayer is the anime that got them into anime, that's fantastic. I'm not here to be a gatekeeper. More people watching anime, I think, is great. You know, I remember growing up, anime had a pretty bad stigma around it if you watched anime. That has completely been dispelled, and one of the anime that has really done that over the last few years is honestly Demon Slayer. And I know it's the cool thing to be like, oh my god, you're a filthy casual for only liking Demon Slayer, but it's just like, who cares? If that's what got them into it, more power to them. As far as this game is concerned, completely went on a tangent there. An arena fighter, if you're a fan of the anime, you'll probably have a good time with it. You just gotta know what you're getting yourself into with these games. They're not gonna be blow away, but for fans, they're gonna be enjoyable games. Lastly, we'll end this video with a good shout to Ubisoft. Far Cry 3, 80% off for $3.99. The game that really elevated Far Cry to another level, in my opinion. I know people liked Far Cry 1 and 2, but Far Cry 3, from a gameplay standpoint, the open world, it resonated with people a lot, and $3.99 for that is a fantastic deal. But that is going to do it for me. Again, a lot of great deals available right now. The deal on Hades is definitely tremendous. I know, kind of went on a tangent on a lot of these deals, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do and talk about some of these games. I know I mentioned AC Shadows. Look, it's at a historic low price point. If you're down atrociously and you need an open world game, $42 is just crazy, bro. Just go buy Far Cry 3 or go re-download Far Cry 3. Go re-download some of the older Assassin's Creed games. $42 for that is insane, and Claws of Awaji getting memed on to quite a lot as far as, you know, its reception, and I think Shadows is going to be looked at as a pretty big disappointment, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Some other good deals. Alters, ROTR, that deal is great. The Naruto franchise sale, you know, Bandai Namco, come on now, get those prices a little bit lower, but that'll do it for me. Your thoughts down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.